in the glittering world of royalty and celebrity, where every gesture is scrutinized and every image dissected, a glaring double standard has emerged that reeks of calculated bias. On one side, we have Catherine, Princess of Wales, often referred to simply as Kate, rolling out full camera crews to capture glossy, perfectly lit footage of herself and her children volunteering. These aren't spontaneous acts of kindness, they're meticulously staged productions, transforming what should be private moments of compassion into polished promotional reels designed to burnish the monarchy's tarnished image. Yet, across the pond, Meghan Sussex faces relentless accusations of auctioning off her kids over a completely fabricated narrative surrounding a Thanksgiving event. The irony is palpable, the hypocrisy exhausting, and it's high time we call it out for what it is, a strategic smear campaign that's finally unraveling. Let's start by unpacking the latest flashpoint. The photos in question, which have been weaponized by detractors, stem from a quiet, legitimate community kitchen project organized by Archewell in Los Angeles. Here, the Sussex family, Harry, Meghan, and their young children Archie and Lilibet, rolled up their sleeves to help prepare meals for vulnerable families during the holiday season. This wasn't a red carpet affair or a media circus. It was a genuine effort to give back, shared discreetly through Archewell's channels. Crucially, Archie and Lilibet weren't paraded like royal props for public consumption. Their faces were hidden, their identities fiercely protected with caps and anonymized shots. There were no product links hawking merchandise, no brand placements sneaking in endorsements, just a simple, heartfelt call for donations to support the cause. In a world where privacy is a rare commodity for public figures, Meghan Sussex's approach was a masterclass in restraint and respect for her children's autonomy. Contrast this with Kate's recent foray into volunteering at a Windsor baby bank. There she was, flanked by her 3 children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, sorting donations under the watchful eye of a professional cinematographer. The footage wasn't grainy smartphone clips captured by a bystander. It was high production value material, complete with perfect lighting, strategic angles, and a narrative arc that screamed, "Look at us being relatable royals." Credited to a professional like Will Waugh, this wasn't charity, it was content creation. Kate has made a habit of this, turning her family's supposed acts of service into viral videos that conveniently align with the palace's PR strategy. Remember the slick edits from previous years, where the children are shown packing bags or wrapping gifts, all while the camera lingers just long enough to humanize the institution? It's exploitation dressed up as empathy, using innocent kids as props in a never-ending bid to maintain public favor. This isn't just about one event, it's a pattern. Kate's children are wheeled out like clockwork for Christmas walkabouts, where they march in formation before adoring crowds, their every smile captured for the front pages. Trooping the colour, there they are, on the balcony, waving dutifully as part of the monarchy's annual spectacle. Coronations, jubilees, even casual outings to pantomimes or sporting events, all choreographed to perfection, with the kids front and centre. These aren't organic family moments. They're calculated photo ops engineered to polish the Windsor's image amid scandals and declining relevance. Kate, as the future Queen Consort, bears responsibility for this, by allowing, nay, encouraging, her children to be thrust into the spotlight so frequently. She's turning them into PR machines, their childhoods sacrificed on the altar of institutional survival. It's a sharp critique, but one that's warranted. When does sharing family life cross into commodifying your offspring for public approval? The exhaustion comes from watching this unfold, while Meghan Sussex, who has shielded her children from public view for months on end, is vilified for a single privacy-respecting share. The double standard isn't subtle, it's blatant and strategic. Why is Kate lauded as a devoted mother for these staged displays, while Meghan is painted as an opportunist? Peel back the layers, and you'll find a toxic mix of racism, sexism, and institutional protectionism at play. Meghan Sussex, as a biracial American actress who dared to challenge the royal status quo, has been a target since day one. Her every move is twisted into a narrative of self-promotion, even when her actions mirror or exceed those of her in-laws in restraint. Take the Archewell initiative. It's not just a one-off, it's part of a broader commitment to philanthropy that emphasizes impact over optics. The foundation has quietly supported causes from women's empowerment to mental health, often without fanfare. Yet, when a photo emerges showing blurred figures helping in a kitchen, suddenly it's exploitation. Meanwhile, Kate's glossy reels are celebrated as heartwarming, reinforcing the narrative that the Cambridges, now Waleses, are the epitome of wholesome royalty. This hypocrisy extends to historical precedents within the royal family itself. Think back to the late Princess Diana, who faced similar scrutiny for her charitable work, but was ultimately revered for her authenticity. Diana brought her sons, William and Harry, to homeless shelters and AIDS clinics, exposing them to real-world issues without the veneer of production crews. Yet even she navigated the fine line between public duty and private life. Fast forward to today, and Kate's approach feels like a regression, a sanitized, social media-ready version where vulnerability is scripted and children are assets in a branding exercise. It's, well, exhausting because it perpetuates a myth that the monarchy's survival depends on these performative acts, while independent figures like Meghan are punished for doing good on their own terms. Moreover, the accusations against Meghan often hinge on fabrications. The Thanksgiving narrative peddled by critics claims she timed the release for maximum exposure, implying some mercenary motive. But let's be clear, this was no auction. There were no bids on family photos, no monetization schemes. It was a 24-hour story on Archewell's platform, highlighting the work of the community kitchen and encouraging donations. If anything, it really underscores Meghan's commitment to using her platform responsibly, amplifying causes without centering herself or her family unduly. Kate, on the other hand, has built an entire public persona around these family-inclusive events. Her children aren't just participants, they're the stars, their cuteness leveraged to deflect from the monarchy's deeper issues, like financial opacity or relevance in a modern world. Critics might argue that royal children have always been public figures, but that's a cop-out. The expectation of privacy has evolved, especially post-Diana. Harry and Meghan's decision to step back from royal duties was partly driven by a desire to protect Archie and Lilibet from the media maelstrom that scarred previous generations. By contrast, Kate's insistence on publicising her kids' involvement in charity feels like a deliberate choice to weaponize family life for PR gains. It's sharp, but true. She's turning George, Charlotte, and Louis into mini-ambassadors, their innocence exploited to humanize an institution facing existential questions. How many more perfectly lit videos do we need before we acknowledge the toll on these children? The exhaustion stems from the pretense that this is normal, when it's anything but. The strategic nature of this double standard becomes evident when you consider the broader media ecosystem. Tabloids and commentators who fawn over Kate's relatable moments are the same ones quick to demonize Meghan for far less. It's a playbook of deflection. Keep the focus on the Sussexes' supposed missteps to avoid scrutinizing the Windsors' excesses. But cracks are showing. Public sentiment is shifting, with more voices calling out the bias. Polls and discussions increasingly highlight the unfair treatment, and as the monarchy grapples with its future, these hypocrisies risk alienating a new generation. In defending Meghan Sussex, it's not about pitting women against each other, though the narrative often tries to frame it that way. It's about demanding consistency. If Kate's high-production volunteering is acceptable, then Meghan's low-key, privacy-focused efforts should be applauded, not attacked. The exhaustion comes from the mental gymnastics required to sustain this imbalance. Meghan hasn't allowed her children to be publicly seen for months, prioritizing their normalcy over notoriety. Kate, meanwhile, continues to deploy hers as PR shields, their every outing a calculated move in the royal chess game. Ultimately, this hypocrisy is falling apart because truth has a way of seeping through. As Archewell continues its work, quietly making a difference, the Windsors' glossy facade looks increasingly hollow. The public deserves better than staged compassion. We deserve authenticity. Meghan Sussex embodies that, fiercely protective, genuinely impactful. Kate's approach, sharp as this critique may be, risks reducing her children to cogs in a PR machine, their childhoods scripted for public approval. It's time to end the double standard, to let compassion be private when it needs to be, and to call out exploitation wherever it hides, even behind palace walls. The path forward? Accountability. For the monarchy to survive, it must evolve beyond these tactics. For figures like Meghan, the vindication comes in continuing to thrive despite the noise. The hypocrisy is exhausting, but its exposure is empowering. In a world craving real change, authenticity will always win out over artifice.